right. Here we are. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you.
Today is a special day. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid
Thank you.
Mubarak. Thank you.
So we are wearing the uniform for the Eid.
Yes. Now, I have a
Yeah.
question about this. So today is the last day of Ramadan. So,
It was
I
yesterday.
mean, it is. Well, okay. So I wasn't sure about that. I guess it's the timing of where you are in the world, kind of. And yeah,
Yes, it's about the moon sighting, the new moon.
right, right.
So we fast when we see the new moon, and we stop fasting when we see the new moon. So that's why it's never the same,
Mm.
for all the countries. It's very rare that they can. I think last year it was uh, united. Everybody, all the Muslim countries, they celebrated Eid at the same time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
most of the time, because of the moon sighting, some people will see it, for example, in Saudi Arabia, but they will not see it in Egypt. So each country is independent. So, but here
Okay.
in the U.S., it's the U.S. If somebody sees it in the U.S., then it falls for all the U.S., all the states. So, yeah,
Huh.
Yeah. And in Morocco, for example, we started late because they started one day before us. And then
Okay.
we end today all together worldwide.
yeah. Morocco is a very special country, by the way. They always have one day off. They
Ramadan.
always take advantage.
Yes.
They start late
Yeah,
and they
we
celebrate
are.
with us at the same time.
They give
So
us
in
extra time to prepare.
I know.
yeah, so in Morocco, then has the party started like right now, or is it in like a couple hours or something?
A
Now
couple
in the
hours.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we now it's 3, it's 4 p.m. in Morocco. So yeah,
Yeah.
we already started
It's
this
11,
morning.
yeah,
Yes.
11 a.m. So the party just started for us. Yeah.
So you
Ah,
guys have eaten and you've got lots of energy. Is that
yes, absolutely. I have my
That is
coffee
sounds
here.
good?
correct.
It's not like the last time.
Okay, yeah.
Last live, I was empty of energy.
Right.
I know.
Good. Okay. Well, that's we're gonna have some fun today. So we thought we'd focus on today's session on what we're calling essentially lesser known sites in Morocco, getting off the tourist path type thing. Yeah, people get send us questions about this from time to time. Well, what else can I see? Maybe they've already been, or maybe they want to see some of the famous things to see as you do, but maybe they want to try to see something else. So get off where there's not quite as many of the crowds, and maybe be getting the chance to see something that other people haven't seen or don't get to see as much, if that's the type of like traveler that you are. And the great thing, of course, with your tours, very customizable. People can easily ask to add a different kind of attraction, and a bit of it depends on logistics. I think how far you might have to drive and how it fits in, but a lot is certainly possible. And what we're going to do today is a little bit of a combination of some things that some ideas you guys will share, things you can see if you're already in a city. So if you're in Fez, Rabat, Marrakech, and the point with that being that that's a bit easier, to maybe go and see a museum for an hour or two. It's not a long drive, right? You can probably squeeze that in. But we'll also talk about some places that are further out in the countryside, in nature, mountains, and stuff like that. That would take a little bit more organization for sure, but I'm sure you guys can integrate that at least with enough, notice and planning. So it's really a chance for our listeners and people to start making a list and come back to you guys with, yeah, here's some ideas. I heard it on that show that you guys did, and I'd like to go and check that out. So that's what we're going to focus on today.
Absolutely.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Now we're going to do some fun screen sharing here too to help us navigate. So let me pull this up. So these are our list of lesser known sites to visit in Morocco. What else can we do here? Oh, nice little banner. There we go. So, I mean, we're going to start with the north, then start moving south. So the north, well, as you can see, Fez around that area. I think Chef Showan. Then heading south, Rabat down towards Marrakech and out to Merzouga, and that's kind of itinerary that we'll generally follow the route, and we'll try to pull up some maps here as well and find some of these places. So this is the point where I start to defer, of course, to you guys because you're the experts. So you gave us this list, and you can explain what some of these places are. So if we're in the north, I think you mentioned this maybe on an episode or two, but the Actual Waterfalls. Can you tell us a bit
Yes.
about what that is and where it is?
Okay. The Yakshor waterfalls is located in the outskirts of Chefchaouen. It's about, I would say, about an hour, 15 minutes or so drive in the Rif, inside the Rif Mountains. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful site, and it's really, really very scenic drive. The Rif Mountains, they don't look nothing like the Atlas Mountains. They are very beautiful, really, really nice. And then the Yakshor waterfalls, it's a big site. It's a really, really,
Mm.
really big site, and it has parts, or if you would, portions. So for a lot of people, like this one, the one you're showing, this is very
Mhm.
easy. It's the hike is not really that hard. It's not difficult, and most people can enjoy it. But then
Mm.
there's the little bit of rocky, a little bit more dangerous, or you need to have a lot more experience because those rocks they can be slippery sometimes, and you have to have the
Oh
right
yeah.
gear. So this what you're showing right here on the left hand side. That's really really nice, and this is the first part. You
Yes.
can do it. Anybody can do it. They can come in here. They can enjoy it. But then for the thrill seekers, they want to go see the God's Gates, which is the last part,
Mhm.
or the last destination, if you would, in the waterfalls,
Mm.
which is it's about an hour and a half hike. It's very tricky, a little bit dangerous,
Okay.
not recommended for everybody.
Mm.
And this is one of the ways to do it.
Mhm.
This is the short way to do it. The other way to do it is it's a 3 to 4 hour hike, and you
Mm.
go on the back end of it, and the hike is not difficult, but it's lengthy. So it's gonna take you some time to get to it. It is
Yeah.
definitely worth it, and definitely recommended. But it just depends on who's going, who's traveling. If it's
I see.
youngsters, if it's teenagers, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, then when you look at the 50s and above, then you really, really have to proceed with caution because it can be really dangerous.
Mm.
And that's what we noticed when we visited Akshor. We went all the way to the God's Gate. Imran was with us and his 8-year-old kid, and it was
Mm.
challenging. It was even challenging for me, to walk through those rocks. And I've seen some kids, 18, 20, they fly. I mean, it's just like wow, it must be nice. But for me, it was a bit challenging. So yeah.
Is it a lot of
So
uphill and up and down and climbing and
yeah.
stuff?
There's
Yeah.
definitely uphill. Yes, yeah,
Yes.
Mm.
uphill, downhill,
I see.
and there's no restrooms, so just
Ah.
prepare. So
Yes. Yeah.
So this gives you a sense of where it is. You can see Chef Shawan's here. How far is that outside of Chef Shawan then?
I would say about an
Drive
Around
wise?
hour,
20,
15 minutes.
15 minutes drive.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
So if
uh,
people wanted to go, all out of your tours, you stay overnight in Chef Shawan. So maybe they could
that's
request to
right.
do that for, I guess it
that's,
depends how
yeah.
much hiking they want to do. Is half a day enough? Do you need like a full day?
Oh, you definitely need a
Ah,
full day, Ted.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But also, I want to ask Sam,
Yeah. Yeah.
for his recommendations as well, please.
Yeah, and I
Hmm.
want to add because many people they just stay, for example, for 2 nights or spend 2 days in Chefchaouen. Chefchaouen, you can do it like for a half day. So if you arrive in the afternoon, you can do Chefchaouen.
Oh,
The city to Chefchaouen it takes like between 2 to 3 hours, more than enough to explore Chefchaouen. Then the rest of the next day, for example, you don't need to stay in Chefchaouen for a full day doing nothing. So I suggest to go to Aksho waterfalls, and it's amazing, especially for, as still mentioned, for sports people, for example, for like
hmm,
under 50s, for example, they can just uh, walk to reach the bridge because there is a natural bridge on the top of the waterfalls where
hmm.
you can enjoy an amazing and breathtaking view uh, from the above of the bridge.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's the exact same thing we did. We did 2 days. We did a city tour, but the thing that I have to add, Shifshawan during the day is very different than the night. So you really have to see Shifshawan by night as well, and that's what we
Mm.
we were very lucky. So we a lot of memories. We made a lot of memories. I mean, I still remember. There you go. That's
Yeah.
the God's Bridge.
These are
When we
the
Yeah,
we
that's right.
stopped,
That's the
we
bridge. Yeah.
oh.
we had some snails. It sounds kind of yucky, but that's in our culture, snails are really really popular. So and for us, it was just childhood memories. And that's we did so many stops. The street food was incredible. We
Huh.
stopped at the guy with the crepes, if you remember, with the bananas. So
Yes. Yeah. And
it was
yeah,
it
in
was
the
a lot of
evening.
fun. Yes,
Yeah, amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
totally
even
different than the day. Yeah, yeah,
yes, yeah. So yeah,
Uh,
Chefchaouen by night is just it's incredible. It's a fun city. It's
yeah.
very festive city, and I think by coincidence there was a music festival that we went in and we watched for a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. We filmed it as well, and
yeah,
it was
Okay.
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, let's take a couple more of these. We'll have to see where they are. So there's Moulay Idris Zarhoun.
Yes.
Yes.
Moulay Idriss Sarhoun, it's this is really 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 important religious site
Yeah.
for Moroccans, and it's a small village in the hills in the outskirts of Fes. Moulay Idriss Sarhoun, it's definitely a must see, must stop, and I'll talk about it in one way. Then Sam will talk about it in a different way, more intricate, more a little bit more historical. I remember when we made the stop at Moulay Idriss Sarhoun, it feels. Um, I'm gonna just say it's kind of a little bit weird, but it feels like Fresno, California for me. I mean, that's the
Okay.
feeling that I had. It was just laid back city. The food was incredible. The people were nice, and it just felt
Yeah.
like you're in a village. Very pretty, very nice. The food was amazing. The attitude, atmosphere was incredible. So it
Right.
was a
I
lot of
remember
fun for
this.
us. Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't go there, but it's near Volubilis. And when you go to
you've been.
Volubilis,
That's right. Yeah, you've
you
been
see
there.
yes,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
weird kind of
yes,
looking city on this hill, this mound, right? And that's
That's
it.
right.
yes,
Off the distance in the side
yes,
of a hill. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah.
This is
Uh,
in green is the shrine of Moulay Moulay
Yeah,
Idris
yeah.
first. Yeah.
the founder of Fest.
Yes,
Right,
that's
right.
right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
It seems pretty small. Isn't basically that's the town, the city, like just on top of this hill, or does
yes,
it
Yeah,
spread
it's
out
you.
it's
more?
pretty small. Yeah, it is pretty
It's very
small.
small. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
And
one.
you can drive to the top of the hill and you can stop the car. There is a parking. This is the last driving point,
yeah,
and then
Mm-hmm.
you can walk through this small, at least to visit. For example, the train is from outside, by the way.
yes,
Except
Right.
during the summertime, there is a festival of Moulay Idris first, or Moulay Idris Zarhon.
Yeah.
Or you can, for example, for the people visiting Morocco during summertime, they can enjoy the festival. There is so many
yes,
things to see and to discover there.
yeah, and
Also,
also,
this is the
mhm,
the the place where Moulay Idris, when he came to Morocco from, when he escaped from the Caliphate, the Umayyad Caliphate, and he moved to
Mm.
Morocco. This is the place where he stayed before he founded Fez. Because why he took this place? Because of the fertile land near the Volubilis
Mm.
and the
I
top,
see. Yeah.
on the top hills, because he escaped from the attacks of the Umayyad dynasty at that time.
Yeah, you can
yes,
see that in some of these pictures. Like I remember quite green hills.
yeah, yeah. The
That's right,
pictures
absolutely. Yeah.
when you drive, you're gonna see it on your right hand side. It is a breathtaking, just like this, and then you see the bottom of the hill. You see the wildlife, you see the forest. It's just incredible the way that it sits on the top of that hill.
Yeah, it's neat.
So it's definitely a must see. So this
Cool.
is this is a very popular religious site for Moroccans.
Okay. I see. All right. Yeah. So that's got to be something it's so close to Volubilis. If you're going there
Yeah,
anywhere anyway, Meknes, you can
10
probably
kilometers.
stop
It's
in.
10,
Yeah.
10 kilometers from
Yeah.
Volubilis. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And next we have Asila.
Asila is a
And
small coastal city built by the Portuguese.
oh yeah,
It's very laid back. It reminds me a little bit of Essaouira, but it's different than Essaouira.
That's right.
Essaouira seems a little bit high, if you know what I mean, than Asila. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it. It's very close to Tangier as well.
yeah.
It's a beautiful city, very laid back, relaxed.
Oh yeah. That looks
You
nice.
know, yeah,
So I can Azila, or it's called in Berber Azila. It's a
Hmm.
Berber word, which is Azila or Azili, which is a coast place area in local language, in Berber language. By the way, it's founded 1500 before Christ by the Phoenicians when they were in Morocco. They took it to place for their commerce, and then they occupied by the Portugal for like a century, from 1471 to 1580. And then when the dynasty of Alawite came by Muhammad bin Abdullah, he took it back from the Portuguese. And if you are interested in the galleries and you want to take amazing pictures, especially it's amazing, especially the galleries inside the Medina and the painted walls,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
in blue and white. It's yeah. Also, if you want, for example, during the summertime, for the beaches there is just amazing. It's very clean.
Mm,
Small city, you can do like a city tour in an hour to 2 hours, enough
okay.
to do to discover the old Medina or the city of Azila or Asila.
Right. Is that a reasonable
Yeah.
stopover then? If you're coming maybe from Tangier, you're heading back
From
south
Tangier.
towards
Yes.
Yes, it's
Rabat,
19 kilometers,
Tangier.
by the way. It's 19 kilometers from Tangier. It took like 40 minutes to
Oh,
drive
okay. That's
to
not far.
Marrakech. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And also, I remember last summer when we visited. I mean, people were extremely hospitable. We were walking late at night. The streets are safe. Everywhere you go is safe. People were very hospitable. We had some really good food at a very nice popular restaurants. So we really had a good time. We enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
And
Yeah, it looks
also,
beautiful.
it is there is a famous festival in June, I think June or July. I remember exactly which time in the of the year, but there is a huge festival. It's very famous and one of the biggest festivals in Morocco. It's called Asila for the what's called Taborita.
Mm.
I forgot the
See if I can
name.
find it
I
here.
don't know the name in English.
Fantasia, the
Fantasia.
Fantasia, the
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Hmm. Is that the
yeah.
same, the Sila Arts Festival? Same thing, or is that something
It's
different?
yeah. It's a cultural festival mixed with the Tborida or the Fantasia.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, well, let's see. We had some sites in Fez. Maybe we can touch on these quickly. The idea being if you're already in Fez, right, and these could be things you could, pop into for an hour or two if that's the case. But what have we got here? There's a gardens. It looks like the Jardin Jenan Spiel.
Yeah, Jenan Civilias. Yeah, Fas is just it's a really amazing city. There's
Mm,
so many things to see. So when we said 3 days, 4 days, I mean I mean it's beyond incredible. So
mm.
and this list is really short, but there's so much
Yeah.
more to see in Fas. So some are popular, some are not popular. But these are the ones that a lot of people miss. Um,
Mm.
when they visit
That's right.
Fas.
Yeah, that's right. Because Fes is not like Marrakech. There is no lot of gardens like, for example, Marrakech or Rabat, for example. Fes,
Mm.
this is one of the best places where you can
Yeah, that's nice.
hang out or relax if you have like free time, especially after the city tour in the afternoon. You can go there just to hang out and
Yeah,
yeah,
and it doesn't even feel like
Okay.
Fez.
yeah.
Right. So it's here, just kind of, I guess, the edge of the old city, whoop,
Yeah,
essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
the yeah, it next to the walls of the old city. Yeah,
Right.
But
yeah.
also, just to give people a Jnan, what does Jnan mean? Jnan
Mm.
means courtyard. It means garden, big garden. It means So that's what Jnan means. Greenery, vegetation. So Jnan means like a big space of trees. Uh, so
Okay. Huh. I see. Now we had Azru. Is that a city?
As
yes,
Azra.
yes.
Yes.
Azro, Azro in Amazigh means rock. In my Amazigh, I'm not sure what, Sam's Amazigh
Yeah, that's
because I
right.
know he can go.
Same. No, it's same Azra, stone
Oh,
or
okay.
rock. Yeah.
So this is a bit south of Fez.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
It's
yes,
I think
Fez is up
one
here.
hour, 1 hour and
yeah.
20 minutes, 1 hour and a half drive from Fez,
Hmm.
actually.
And also, when we talk about Azro, it's the same in a lot of the tours that we do. Going from Fas to Merzouga, we break in Midelt, and we pass through Ifran, and then we pass through Azro, and this is well
Of course.
known for the monkeys. So a lot of people they just
Right.
take a little break. They feed the monkeys take pictures with them, and it's really popular site, very crowded. But this one is the lesser known sites, so and it's
Mm.
definitely worth it.
I feel you've
Yeah,
talked about this
especially
forest. too, the cedar forest.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gorod Forest, where there is like 500 old
Wow.
cedar forest
That's
trees,
pretty
and the wild Barbary macaque, which is one the monkeys. It's called
Yes.
good.
macaque, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can meet them and feed them if you want. Yeah. This is depends on.
Yeah.
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 And you can
So
have
now,
a horse ride as well.
exactly.
If
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
interested in a horse ride. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, all these things are fairly close. You got Ifran and the forest, Azru. So, I mean, maybe that's a day trip from Fez, or maybe you're heading that way
It could be.
anyway. Yeah,
Yeah. It
it's
could be
kind of a
both.
different route because a lot of people you
Yes.
take them on the expressway, right? But if you were to go kind of this way
Hmm.
to Marrakesh, let's say, then a bit
Yes.
longer, but you see some things
So
along the way.
yeah, when you see it here, when you look at Fast, and you can see it on top, and then Ifran, and then down to the right you'll see Midlet. So Midlet, that's where we
Oh
will
yeah,
stop on the way to the
That
desert.
is well.
nice.
Yes, because it's a long drive to do it in one
Yeah,
drive. So,
yeah.
and in middle, on the way there's so many places that we stop, and
Mm,
this is one of them. So there's some sites that are really popular, and some sites that are really unknown to the tourists, but they are really popular amongst the locals. So, and this
uh-huh.
is one of them. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we're straying
Uh,
a bit from
s-
Fez. There's a couple more things I think we wanted to
yes.
possibly do. Mishlifen, is that what's the story of that?
Mishlif, Mishlifen is a place, a ski station, and there is
Ah,
a beautiful resort there, which is called also Mishlifen. Mishlifen Resort is one of beautiful five-star resorts in
okay,
Ifren. Yeah,
right.
Ifren is a small, clean city and one of the expensive cities in Morocco. By the way, this is why it's called small Switzerland of Morocco.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the land there is very expensive. Sometimes it reaches like $10,000 for a meter square.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
Oh, and here's a
expensive.
ski resort. I see. Yeah,
That's
Monkey
right, ski
Forest. Yeah.
resort. Yeah.
Okay. So that again, it's all in that same basic area.
S- Yeah, so you can do it for like for example, if when you have like when you stay in Fez, for example, for 2 days, 3 days.
Hmm.
If you don't do, for example, you can do a day trip to Mykonos Volubilis, or you can do day trip to Chefchaouen, or you can do
Oh
like
yeah.
combine of Azro and Ifren and come back
Yeah.
to Fez in the afternoon because it's not
Okay.
far from Fez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. Because yeah, it's pretty similar. Meknes, Volubilis around here, or go down here. It's about the same distance, relatively.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
And through the road, there is, for example, a spa. There is, for example, in Shkaf, there is a forest there and the villages where you can take photos, enjoy your time, and yeah, there is many stops. It's not like just driving.
Hmm. Okay. Now let's see. We had what's the next one here? Diet Awa.
Dayat Awa. Dayat Awa is a lake or
Ah,
dam near. It's the opposite road from Sfro. If you go to, for example, you live as like the outside of the city of Fez. There is two roads. One they take you to Ifren, and another one they take you to Sfro, and then to Daitawa.
oh, down around here, Spro.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm. But also, if, for example, when we talk about Sfro, which is this is a popular destination for locals, for Moroccans, for tourists not so much. But it's a very small city, well known for its festival, I believe,
cherry,
cherry festival,
yeah,
and
cherry
then
tree.
they
Yes,
choose a
yes,
queen, which is the queen of cherry, once a
yeah,
year. But also, it's a very rich city when it comes to Jewish culture and heritage
Huh.
and history.
that's right. Yes,
So again, this is really popular amongst the locals, but not in terms of popularity with the tourists. So the thing
Mm,
that I wanted to add to this topic that we're discussing today, when we look at, for example, U.S. market, when we look at the itineraries that are being created, and this is you can see that's the
oh, the
those are the
cherries.
cherries.
Ah, of course, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, so the best ones in Morocco are from Sfro, and then when we look at um, the popular itineraries, those they don't represent not even 15 or 20% of the possibilities of things to do and see in Morocco. and we'll talk a little bit more about this in details down the list, because just because one itinerary is popular and that's what everybody wants to see, but they're really leaving so much more that they can see, that they can discover for themselves, and it's just as beautiful as whatever the on that itinerary is, but in different parts of Morocco. So
Mhm.
Absolutely, yeah. There is a hidden gems that you can discover. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's why we want to do this episode to start talking about it. We could do further episodes too, with a little more detail some of these places, but it's a bit of an
sure.
introduction here, an overview.
yes,
On that note, let's try to go quickly through Rabat because these got a few things here. I think within the city, you kind of get the sense there's museums, there's
yes,
gardens, there's the
yes,
zoo.
yes.
Is there anything particular that stands out if you were to pick maybe one of these
I
things? What do
would
we
I
got?
would I would
Exciting.
say the gardens, because it's when people think of Rabat, they don't think of gardens.
Mm.
Last time
Yeah,
we visited, we had an amazing tour experience in Rabat, but unfortunately that day the gardens were closed. I think it was a Monday and they closed on Monday. I could be wrong about the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
We just saw it through the gates. It's
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful. So the gardens are really not expected in Rabat, but it's absolutely worth the visit. So
yeah,
we missed out. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. There is also the archaeological. Yeah, this is the gardens. Yeah, near the
Oh yeah,
Kasbah,
yeah. I
the
remember
Udaya
going up
Kasbah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is the old Kasbah, the Udaya Kasbah from the 12th century.
Right.
Yeah, this is
Those
the
orange
gardens.
trees. Oh,
Right.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Huh. Yeah, and you can see we go back to the map. So, well, it's next to the Casbah, so everything's very close together. When on the
Yes.
standard
Yeah.
tour, you see the Hassan Tower, the mausoleums over here, and then
mausoleum. That's
quick
right. Yeah,
drive over to the Casbah area along the
Kasbah.
waterfront, the ocean, and there's the garden. So that's
Mhm.
an easy stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's next to the
Yeah.
Kasbah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
example, as you say, if you, for example, an overnight in Rabat, you can just, for example, because most of the accommodations in Rabat is just near the Kasbah, where there is the old Medina of Rabat.
Mm.
So you can just, for example, after the city tour of Rabat, you can just hang out and go to the Andalusian gardens, for example, enjoy a cup
Yeah.
of tea, for example, overlooking the ocean and the Abu Ghrak River, which is the
Yeah.
river there. Yeah, Abu
Yep.
Ghrak River.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
overlooking the Sela or Sali, the old Medina of Rabat.
Right. That's over here. It says Rabat
Yeah, that's
Medina.
right.
Yes.
The other
They're
part of the
divided.
river.
Over
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah,
They're divided by the river. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Right. So yeah. So you can see the list there. I mean, there's a couple of the
Yeah.
museums.
Especially Rabat Archaeological Museum. It's very interesting because most of the archaeological stuff that found in Morocco during the last century, they put it all together in that archaeological museum,
Hmm.
including from the Romans era, from the old Berbers stuff. Especially, for example, we talk about the stuff they found in Volubilis.
Mm.
Hmm.
They put it there. The old jars
Yeah.
from the Phoenicians era, for example, they are you can find it in that museum of archaeology. Yeah,
Hmm. I see. Yeah. I mean, well, Rabat's the capital, so it's going to have a lot of those museums and kind of
that's right.
national
Yes.
sites, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, it's a great stop if you're interested in those kinds of things.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Well, let's keep heading south. So
yeah.
we've, as I say, we've come from the north and Chefchaouen area, Fez, around there, Rabat. Now we're heading towards Marrakesh. So I know there's some
Yes.
interesting sites here, lakes and waterfalls. Uh, Lala Takar Kust.
Yeah.
Yes,
Leletakar
that's right.
Coast. Yes.
Okay.
All these sites that you have here, they're really popular amongst the locals.
Uh,
Leletakar Coast, I remember when we were kids, we used to do a yearly day trips through school, which is a lot of
okay.
fun. The same thing with the waterfalls Ozod, which is the highest waterfalls, I
Mm.
believe, in Morocco or in Africa.
Yep.
It is a day trip as well, so it's maybe 4.5 hours one way. So you can see that you need to leave early, then do what you need to do by mid afternoon. You need to head back to Marrakesh or wherever you're coming from. So but it's a lot of fun. It's
That's
definitely
to get.
worth it.
Oh, hang on. The
Yes.
Yeah.
waterfalls are that far, or the lake?
Yes.
No,
No.
the lake. It's lake. The
The
dam. Dam.
yeah.
Is that this here then? That says
That's right.
Lalatakar coast is, yeah, is a dam.
okay, but it seems fairly
Uh,
close to Marrakesh, right?
It's
yeah.
45 minutes drive.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was talking about the waterfall Uzud. It's farther
Waterfalls.
down. So Lalatakar
Yeah,
coast
we'll
is a
get
little
to
bit
that.
closer to Marrakesh. Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So
near
and
Agafai.
also,
You could be staying at
mhm,
Agafai, I would think, and then stop over at this
yes,
lake if you wanted. Yeah.
exactly,
That's
yes.
right. You
Then
can
also, go ahead, Sam,
go
please.
ahead, please.
Also, the way that we travel, for example, we camp more than we stay in hotels or yachts and stuff like that. So
Mm.
as kids, teenagers, when we go to those sites, it's just us and nature. So nothing
Yeah,
luxury,
that's nice.
nothing. It's just yeah. So and it's a
So
lot of fun.
for the luck, you can, for example, there is a
Wow.
jet ski. You can do a jet ski there.
Yeah.
You can have a lunch on the. There is many restaurants there at the end of the lake. You of the lake, for example, there
Hmm.
exactly. There is
Yeah.
this is a jet ski. This is a jet ski station
Hmm.
there. Yeah, on the other side there is a restaurant. You can enjoy lunch overlooking the dam or the lake.
Okay.
Also, you can do like a booklet. It's called a booklet. For example, you can go to Lalatakar Coast, and on your way back to Marrakesh, you can stop on the Agafay
Right.
desert if you want, for example, to enjoy camel ride, for example, or a sunset in the Agafay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is all pretty close. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that lake. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Okay. That's Usud Waterfalls.
yeah.
Maybe I don't know if we'll be able to find this. It says it's hidden. Let's see.
No, no, it's really really popular. Um,
Oh, Usud Falls.
so
Okay.
yeah, it is very popular site, destination, and you can do a day trip or maybe 2 days,
And that's the
and
one you're
spend
saying
some
is
time
like a
with.
4-hour drive from Marrakesh.
Yes, yeah,
Ah.
3 hours,
Yeah.
especially 3 hours. It's like 171 kilometers from Marrakesh.
Oh wow.
So it takes 3 hours drive one way, but it worth a visit. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
there
beautiful.
is.
Huh.
Yeah, there is also wild macaques there. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you miss it in Azro, you can see it in the other in the other waterfalls.
but in both destinations they are thieves. Be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, there is an activity there in the waterfalls. We can do it a boat trip.
Both teams.
Yes,
Okay.
boat trip. Yeah, maybe you can see it somewhere. The pictures. Yeah,
Well, let's take a look here. So this gives you some sense of Marrakesh is over here. So
Mhm.
there's the falls. I see.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
It's in the high Atlas Mountains range. Yeah,
Right. And it's fairly close to the lake. I know that. Yep, that's one of
Beluidan.
the.
That's right.
That's a different one. Yeah, yeah, that's the
Right.
third one. Yeah, that's the one. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. So let's say here's the Bin
yes,
Elwiden Lake. Uh-huh.
yes.
Yes.
Bill Whedon.
We've yeah.
Mhm.
We've got
Go
an
ahead.
episode of this. It's coming up soon when you did a live recording there because you guys stayed there,
Yes, we did.
right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We were very lucky. In the last tour that we did, um, we were supposed to stay in Bilwiden, then go to Ozod Waterfalls as the last day for the tour, then go back to Marrakesh. But unfortunately, when we get to Bilwiden, we were just super exhausted, and we couldn't do that additional day in Ozod, so we missed it in a way. However,
Mm.
the stay, the experience at Bilwiden was just beyond incredible. It is. We were very fortunate. We stayed at, I believe, Widin Resort.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
This is the picture. If you can go back to the
yes,
pictures,
Oh,
that's the
yeah,
pictures. Yeah. This is the
and
resort.
this one
It's
here.
called
it's a
Widian. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
five-star resort. Uh, the service, I mean, everything was just beyond um, what's expected. I mean, I remember the food. The food is just it's everything was just above and beyond. I mean,
Wow.
it's definitely it is. If they say five-star, it's probably 6 or 7 star because
Yeah, that's
everything
right.
was done just
I
perfect.
agree 100%. I give them 7 stars. Yes.
Yes, Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the beds. Even a single bed could fit four people. I mean, I've never seen any beds that big. This is not king. This is like, it's like too many
This is
kings.
it,
I
huh?
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Yes,
yes.
yes.
Oh
The
wow.
beds are
Yeah.
just wow. It's
Yeah.
just
It's
beyond
like
You can
it's
sleep
like
incredible.
in
my
this
room.
little.
It's like my room. Yeah, overlooking the
Yes,
lake.
yes. The
Yes.
Yeah,
sights,
that is
the
nice.
view,
Beautiful
and
lake.
also this is where the royal family, vacation sometimes when they go to
Yes.
this resort, but they also have private villas a little bit
Mm,
up in the mountains. So this is where we stayed exactly.
mm.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
and like Sam
This
said,
was
is
this
the
was my
best.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow,
And you can see
that's
the view.
beautiful.
I mean,
Yeah.
the guests, the management, the owner, they
Hmm.
just, we did not expect that hospitality, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
um, because uh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's just beyond incredible. I mean, I sometimes I get really speechless because there's no words to express what I really feel when it comes to the hospitality that we have received from those, the front desk, the
Yeah,
management, the
that's
restaurant, the
nice.
staff. It was just
Yeah.
beyond incredible.
Hmm.
And the place is pretty big, so they'll pick you up if you want to go eat. They'll take you on golf carts to the
Hmm.
restaurants. They have swimming pools. They have a helicopter. You can do a helicopter ride. You can
Yeah.
do boats. You can do jet skis. You can do so many things. And we were lucky enough, and we did a tour. The lake was so nice and so beautiful, so clean.
Yeah.
It
Is
was
this
just
maybe not the biggest? It's got to be one of the biggest lakes in Morocco.
it's
Yes.
definitely one of the biggest.
One
Hmm.
of the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of hospitality, this is, like they said, we saved the last for last. This was the top notch
Yeah, best for last.
service
Yeah.
all around.
Oh, cool.
So, and I'm glad we stayed here because,
Hmm.
I mean, that experience was just beyond incredible, and we were very lucky. I believe we sent them some clients that they were just over the moon. I mean,
Yeah.
they just loved the place. So these are really the gems when we talk about, places that are really unknown, because the road
Mm.
to the Wydian hotel, to Biliwidan, as we say, which is the region,
Hmm.
it's not a good road. It's kind
Mm.
of rocky, it's kind of hectic, a little bit challenging. But once you get to the resort, you forget everything about that road.
Yeah.
But they're working on it. It's going to get better, and it's definitely worth it.
It sounds
So,
like a place that might explode in popularity, in the next
oh,
few
for
years.
sure, for sure, yes, for
The
Yes.
sure.
For
This
sure.
this
infrastructure and
this
people
place,
start.
yeah, Billywood has always been popular for us locals, even when we were kids.
Mhm.
Back then we'll have a bicycle, so as kids we'll take the bicycle all the way, and it's very challenging. But then you camp, and it's a lot of fun. But then as adults, and when I came, to here, it was just like, this is mind blowing.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
this is the
Beside
best
all that, there is yeah, there
overall.
is
Yeah.
there is many activities that you can still do around. You
Yes.
can
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
hike, for example. You can just take a boat and have
Yeah.
lunch on a restaurant. By the way, this resort, they have their own private restaurant on the top hills. They are only on a place where you can take a boat, and then you can
Yes.
take the
Yes.
stairs, climb the stairs
Oh
to
yeah.
see the
Cool.
restaurant. Yeah, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Are any of these sites close to there, or are we going off in a different direction?
Okay, when we talk about Orica Valley, is in the outskirts of Marrakesh. It's a little bit closer to Marrakesh than most of the other destinations. It's
Yes.
really popular in the summertime, and it gets very crowded. Normally, it's about an hour drive, but with the traffic, sometimes it can take you maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours one way,
Oh yeah.
because it gets really, really popular, especially during summertime. And when we talk about busy, when we talk about popular, when we talk about hectic, it's two different hectics. There's the touristic areas where full of tourists, and then there's places like this one where they are full of locals, then Moroccans from Europe, then the tourists. So it's kind of a buffet of a
Yeah.
lot of people, and
Mm.
it gets really, really hectic sometimes.
This looks like
It's
a
worth
hiking
the visit.
area.
Yes, yeah. A lot of it is hiking. There's a little bit of, uh, water. There's a small river that runs through the mountains, and there's many places that you can, inside the water, you can be served tea, lunch, everything.
Okay.
But then in Orica, there's other places that are next to it. Stifadma, for
There is
example.
Stifadma. Yeah, you
Yes.
can visit the
Hmm.
waterfalls. It takes like an hour walking to visit the waterfalls. It's a very interesting and a must-see place when you are there.
Yes.
It's called Stifadma waterfalls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So these are
On your
yeah.
way, there is many stops, especially the Berber villages. The way they built the villages is different than the other sites. For example, in Imlil or Wirgan, and you can just enjoy the. It's like the fields and the villages, the houses, it look like the steeps.
Mm.
The way they built the houses.
Mm,
Yeah,
right. Because then I think not quite as far from there. There's Wirgan Valley. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
that was
Wirgan.
under this. So that's kind of the same area by the looks of it.
Mhm.
Kind of part of the same mountain range. Obviously, these are the
Yeah.
high Atlas Mountains, but it's a different road. There's
Wirgan
Wirgan,
is a different road. Yes,
yeah,
the
and
the
Wirgan,
Urika, is it's like east, and Wirgan
yeah,
is west. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. But
So
well,
this is
okay.
yeah.
Here you seem to have a bigger lake by the looks of it,
Yeah,
or at least a
there is a
bigger
lake
river.
where they
Yeah.
bring the water. The drink water to Marrakesh is from that lake. It's called
Okay.
Wirgan. Yeah,
Yeah, look at that.
the
Huh.
water we drank right now in Marrakesh, they brought it from there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not famous for, unfortunately, for tourists, and it worth to visit. It
Hmm.
worth to stay. There is accommodations. There is many things to do.
Yeah.
Especially,
Mm.
you can come. For example, there is like there. For example, you can see there is luxury accommodate hotels and yachts
Hmm.
near the lake. By the way, it's a dam. It's not a lake. It's an artificial dam.
Uh huh.
There is, for
That's
example,
nice.
you can do like one day, a half day, to 2 days to 3 days, walking and hiking tours around Wirgan Valley.
Okay. Hmm.
It's very interesting. Yeah,
How far would that be from Marrakesh? Like an hour? A
from
bit more?
Marrakesh, two
A little
hours,
bit
2 hours.
more. Yeah.
2 hours. Yes,
I see.
it's 95 kilometers, but through the mountains.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a very
Yeah.
scenic
That
route.
slows you down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we have the Zat
And
Valley.
then before I do, please forgive me. I do
Yeah, sure.
apologize. When we talk about outside Marrakesh, we forgot to mention, and this is a little bit more popular during the winter for skiing and ski resorts than the summertime, which is in the same area, in the outskirts of Marrakesh, Okemden. It's
Is a ski station. Yeah,
yes, ski resort,
Oh,
ski
okay.
station.
This one here?
Really, really popular. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
right.
Yeah, so this one again, it's a little bit more popular with the locals than with the tourists.
That's a nice
And
drop.
this is one
Huh.
of the really, really
Yes.
famous areas. And again, a lot of schools, most schools or all schools in Marrakesh, they do have organized day trips to Camden during, either February, March, and April, because when
Hmm.
snow still there as well. So, and again, this is one of the hidden places that a lot of tourists don't get to see.
Yeah.
So if you're talking, like we talked
Oh,
earlier,
wow.
Ifran, we're talking similarity to Aspen, Colorado, for
Okay.
example, but it's very beautiful, very luxury, and definitely very pricey. Camden is a little bit more on the low end. It's very casual, not as expensive, but it's
Hmm.
still a lot of fun. So I remember as kids going with the family, with school, we always had fun. We always had a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's really right out there in the middle of the mountains. Nice.
Yeah, yes. So Marrakesh is just like Fes. Marrakesh, it gets very, very cold there in the winter because it's surrounded by the mountains from all four, sides.
Hmm.
And that's why, and again, during summertime, it gets that really, really dry heat. It's because of everything's kind of closed up. So,
Mm, I see.
Yeah,
Okay. And then there's the
yeah,
Zat Valley, which is more to the east,
that's
right?
right.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
on your way towards that. That's right. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Sat Valley is
Down
more
here.
popular also for tourists, for Moroccans, for locals, especially during summertime, because it's only 2 hours drive from Marrakesh as well,
Hmm.
and it's worth to visit, especially that valley called Zat.
Mm.
Zat
Yeah.
Valley, and there is many villages, many restaurants. You can, for example, have a lunch on the river. For example, you can camp. There's local restaurants as well.
Hmm.
Um, Also, for example, you can, for example, if you have like 2 days, you can do 2 days, for example, and you can like do 3 hours hike or walking to each day, and it worth a visit. It's a must see destination
Hmm.
both for tourists as locals.
Hmm. I see. Yeah, yeah. There's quite the valley here. It goes all the way out.
Yeah.
So a lot of hiking up in here.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. The advantages being in Marrakech, there is many, and several day trips and activities that you can do for one day and come back to Marrakech if you want. For example, you don't want to have another night. For example, Imril is very popular, is very famous. This is why we didn't talk about it.
Right.
For example, yeah, but for example, that valley is a hidden place for
Okay.
tourists. Yeah.
If you were to go hiking, then, if you were there in the summer, and especially to do some hiking, like the places like Imrit, which we should find here on the map, like it does it get really, really busy? You're trying to hike, and there's just people all over the path. Like, how busy would it get?
It
Imlil,
doesn't get
Really?
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't get busy. I mean, the mountains are big, and there's so many options.
No, it's
You
Imlil,
know,
Imlil with L.
Whoop. Oh, that's right. That's why. Sorry. Imrit. There we go.
yep,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
That's
And
it.
again, Emily is a little bit closer to Marrakesh.
Right.
So um,
But that's busy. We're
the
trying to
It's
keep people
it's
away from the busier places.
yeah,
it's very famous. Imlil is
Yeah.
famous for tourists as well because it's the starting point for all the trekking
trekking. Yes,
Yeah.
tours, including the Mount of Tubkal, which is the highest
Yeah.
peak in Morocco.
Right.
Tubkal, yeah, it's 4,000
600 something.
600,
Yeah,
yeah, 670
60. Yeah,
75, yes,
Mm.
meters high.
Yeah.
And also for a day trip from Marrakesh, there is an amazing tour that you can do from Marrakesh for one day.
Mm.
Also, you can do 2 days, 3 days. This is the best place, for example, if you want to enjoy trekking, in Morocco. This is this place beside another place which is called sorry, not
Asni,
Azilal. No, the
Asni.
other side of Azilal,
Hmm.
and yeah.
Mm.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to add, uh, when it comes to mountain tourism, um, in Morocco, it's still kind of raw. It's
Mm.
still in infantry state, if you would. So, and again, a lot of people they go where everybody else goes, and Imlil is a perfect example. So, for example, if you take where we're from, if we look at my village in Klawat, for example,
Yeah.
um, on the way to Ait bin Haddu, you go through Qsbat Klawat, you go through other villages, about 45 minutes, then
Right.
you go through Unila, for example. Unila is one of the most hidden gems in that region.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
very green. The people are just incredible. Some of the most hospitable people that I have ever met. Amazing people, amazing nature. And then there's a lake called Lake Asni, which is really really popular, and a lot of people they like to hike to it, and it takes quite a bit to get to it. Um,
Is
and
that near
Unila
this
Valley,
road, this area here then?
yeah, when
Because
you
his
see Tluwet,
Yeah.
it should
Yeah.
be on the west side of it, on the
Oh,
west side,
okay.
going towards before, yeah. Or you can just type it, Unila,
Right.
OU.
Onila.
Oh, on
Right,
There you
Valley.
Onila
go.
Valley.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
and again, this is one of the old roads. Now they're going to be built. They're going to pave the road between Tluwet through the
Mm-hmm.
mountains towards Azat, which is a shortcut versus the one that exists right now. It's like
Mm.
going around the mountains, but this is going to be like a 45-minute drive to get towards Azat, which normally takes a lot longer. It's
Mm.
cut the distance into half. And then when you go into Unila Valley, you see there's a lot of salt. That's where the salt mining was. There's still a lot of mountains of salts.
Hmm.
In that region, it's very rich in minerals.
That's right. Yeah.
And also there's uh, the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Stop there.
And
It's the
yes,
panoramic view
so
over there with
so
the with yellow color. It's the panoramic view of the Onila Valley. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. So basically, people, this is where they get their stuff. They load up in the mules. You have to,
Okay.
yeah, because you got to camp, for a few days in the lake, and you need animals to go with you.
Hmm.
So and it takes depends on the hike, maybe 6 or 8 hours uphill. And that when you get to the lake, it's very deep. Nobody knows how deep it is. It's very cold. It's very beautiful, and it's one of the most popular sites and hidden sites. Again, when we talk about mountain tourism, when we talk about trekking, a lot of those sites are known for the locals, but outside that area, it's completely hidden. So, and
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
having
see
trouble
the
finding
list.
it.
Yeah, the list that we thought. I mean, with Google, you
Can,
cannot find it. So go back ten
yes, it's
years
it.
ago, you did not hear about it. If you
Mm.
did not see it, it does not exist. So that's,
Can you see
and
the lake
again,
here
this,
then?
yeah, it's there. You just don't see it. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So the lake, it's it's in the middle of surrounded by mountains. They come together, and it looks
Mm.
like um, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it looks like a meteor hit and left that hole,
Mm.
and that's
Yeah.
where the water
Yeah.
is. It's very
It's on
very
your
beautiful.
left.
So yeah, and again, each village, each section, they have their own hidden gems. I remember us, when we were kids, we used to go, mountains on top of mountains and mountains until we get
Hmm.
to. I mean, we've seen some stuff that is just beyond incredible as kids.
Mm.
And each village in each area has that special place. So you cannot. I mean, there's you cannot really count them. There's so many. And again, that's why when we talked earlier, we say, hey, all the itineraries, everything that what's popular to the people to the west, it's merely does not represent what the
Yeah.
true meaning of tourism in Morocco or the places to visit in Morocco on the sites to see in Morocco. And again, here it's going to be more populated with locals, people from Casablanca, Rabat, from other cities versus, you'll see probably some Europeans, but Americans, Canadians, Australians, probably not,
Yeah.
because they just don't know the place. So in
Right.
here,
Only
there's so many, yeah,
Germans and
yes,
Netherlands. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, Germans, for me, they're the most explorer people. I mean,
Hmm.
just last time
Yeah.
I went to, Sam, you were with us when we visited my
Yeah.
dad. We opened the door and there's a German couple camping next next to,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's something that's a trend that personally I have seen with the Germans. I've met so many of them in the wilderness, in the middle of nowhere,
Mm.
and but they love to explore and they love to travel by themselves,
Yeah, they
in
love
couple.
trekking. Yeah.
Yes, it's beyond incredible. Then when we
Mm.
go, we talk about trekking and mountain tourism again. We go to Beni Mellal, for example. That's another whole story. There's so many, dozens and dozens of hidden villages unknown to the
Mm.
locals. And you go towards, towards the southwest, towards the
Hmm.
Sahara again. I mean, towards the desert. So there's so much to see in Morocco, but maybe we're exploring maybe 10%, 5% of what people see or the tourists see, but everything
Yeah.
else it's kind of hidden. It's there, you
Well,
won't
it's
see
true.
it, but yeah,
I mean, our idea here is that if you're already in Marrakesh or if you're looking to do some trekking, and these are things, the stuff we've talked about here today, it's fairly easy to get to. It's fairly
yes,
accessible.
yeah,
So it doesn't mean you have to add an extra 2 or 3 days or something to your tour. Like the idea is that it can be quite integrated. The question is just knowing about it in the first place.
yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
we got a few minutes left here. Let's touch a bit on Marrakesh. It's kind of similar to Rabat. Like anything that particular that jumps out from this list?
Okay, I feel I've talked too much, so I'm gonna let Sam. Sam is in Marrakech, so
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. For example, if you have like 2 days in Marrakesh, you can you can still like explore Marrakesh, but you have more than 2 days. For example, you can do like as Tim talked about Tliwet, for example, you can do just a day trip to Tliwet, 1 day trip to Tliwet. It's not far from Marrakesh, and you can just do so many activities. You can do a lunch with a local family. You can do like a walking tour, for example, through the village of Azdean. When we have an amazing time last summer there in the village of
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So there is many things to do. If you have more than, for example, 3 days or 4 days, you can just stay there. There is accommodations in Kuwait, for example. There is a
Hmm.
camp You can come, for example, somewhere and enjoy your time. There is so many hidden villages, and you can still love, because this road used to be the road of caravans in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Beside, because there is two roads, there is the road of Tluwet and there is the other road on the right. So
Hmm.
this one used to be the routes of caravans that come in from the sub-Saharan countries to Marrakesh. And there is
Mm.
just like, for example, do and Kasbat Luwat even used to be like a meeting point for the
Yes.
caravans coming south and the other coming from the north.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
And that's not too far from Marrakesh. How far is it to drive Marrakesh to Toulouse?
It's
to
about
drive
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Yes,
Yeah, the distance it's 116 kilometers, but it's not the
Okay.
distance. It's because going through the mountains and the speed
moment.
speed
Yes.
limit is a little bit slower than
And it
yeah.
works. The views through the Atlas Mountains works. All
Oh
this,
yeah.
yeah, all the drive. It's scenic. It's a breathtaking views, and it's amazing. You
Yeah.
you go through Tishka Pass, for example, which is the highest road in Morocco.
Hmm.
Tishka, yeah,
Is that
it's
here?
2,260. Yeah,
Hmm.
Tishka on your
Oh,
way from
Tishka. Yeah,
Marrakesh to
yeah.
Tliwat. Tishka, yeah, Tis in Tishka. That's right.
I get
Yeah,
some better
Yeah,
pictures here. Yeah.
and
Okay.
it's
yeah.
yeah. This
Hmm.
Look
just
at
to
the
mention a
villages
little
there.
bit about Tishka. There's a few stops actually. Everybody makes, and it's like Sam said, it's definitely worth it. By the way, do not buy the honey if you scroll down, please. This is another scam. All the honey that you see behind these people, it's not wild
The
honey.
real one.
It's brought from Marrakesh, and they sell it as its local honey. So this is another
Uh,
scam. I'm glad
uh-huh.
you
Yes.
know. So
Yeah.
do not buy honey
Huh.
on the road. It's fake.
No. Uh,
So um, Tishka used to be very dangerous road. It was built back by the French back in 1912, and that's what made the connection between, for example, Marrakesh, Clouet, and Ouarzazate. And I remember my grandfather when they used to go from Clouet to Marrakesh. It takes them about 3 days or so. Um,
wow.
so it has changed now. It's a lot safe. The road has been expanded. It's really nice, and it's very scenic. It's very beautiful. So
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, do we want to touch a little bit on things to see in the city itself?
in Marrakesh,
Yeah, Marrakesh. We have a list of some ideas here. So, anything that
Yeah,
yeah.
jumps
sure.
out there?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Sam, please.
Yeah, for la maison, for example, if you have like, time in Marrakesh, for example, you have 2 days, you can split the city tour of Marrakesh. For example, most of the people they come, they just see Bahia Palace, Majorel Gardens, and for example, Kotubia Mosque. But there's still some hidden like museums and places and attractions to see. For example, La Maison de la Photographie in Marrakesh, one of the best places where you can see the photography through the history of Morocco since the different eras for the different dynasties that was running Morocco in the past till the modern Morocco. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an amazing place. Yes, you can still see the pictures of the
Yeah.
old people, the Berbers and the
Oh,
Amazigh people,
wow.
for example. Yeah, it
Beautiful
was a
building
visit.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is when you look at this one. This is a typical Riyadh of
Hmm.
Morocco, and it looks like, for example, if you take out those doors, or
Hmm.
again, when we talked about first episode, findaq or
Yeah.
fnid,
Speak
Yeah,
of that.
yeah,
so it's almost the same style. So the animals, that's where they'll be. The first floor, that's for
Wow.
them. That's for the goods, and then
Hmm.
upstairs, the second and third level, that's where the families or the merchants
yeah,
will
Yeah.
stay. So it's very unique. And again, you can see this one right here,
yeah,
photography. And when we did the first visit, we've seen, at the mosaic. Uh, place, they
Mm.
create this from scratch, and
Right.
it's very popular. So you can see that streets are made by it, and so
Hmm.
houses and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can see even from the photo, it's from 1850 to 1875 to like 1950. It's an old
Hmm.
house
Yeah.
of 18th century. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
And the secret garden, it's also it's a secret. So there's a lot of people, they might let you take photos, they may not let you take photos. So it just, it depends. But if you're gonna take photos, just make sure that you have an authorization. So
Yeah,
phone photos are
this
okay,
place.
but with professional gear is different.
Yeah, this place
Okay.
also, if you have time and you want to enjoy lunch, this is
Yes.
the best place to enjoy your lunch in Marrakesh. Secret Garden it's modern. It's opened in 2019.
Okay. It's a bit north of the Medina. I see. Yeah.
So,
Is this
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's inside the old Medina. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Wow. That's
also,
beautiful.
we're very grateful that we were able to take pictures, and we had some hard time, but not in this tour. We had it in when we had Max and Jamie with us.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing is, it's very very beautiful,
Hmm.
and we feel very lucky that we have those pictures. Um,
Wow.
the thing also, when we talk about Marrakesh and places to see and visit, for us, the average time spent in Marrakesh is 3 days, but you can see that 3 days is still not enough. I mean, you can do 2 weeks, you know, really a full day of 2 weeks, and you won't see the same place again. So it's
Yeah.
so
There's
much
lots to
stuff to
see.
see. Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially when it comes to Fas, when it comes to Marrakesh, those old, cities, Medinas, so much history, so many things to do. Yeah,
Cool. Well, we're at the top of the hour here. We
I
wanted to see
know, I
how much
know.
we get through. We didn't get to Sahara really yet.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
yeah, yes,
this is
yeah. We
this
can talk
this kind of
about.
area is if you're heading out towards like Merzouga area, right?
yes, yes,
And
yes,
looking for some extra stuff to do. Well, is there
yes.
any one thing maybe we can talk about before we sign off here? Anything that jumps out?
Yes, I wanna start something, but I would like for Sam to finish it. When if you can, when we talk about Southwest and Sahara, when we say, for example, we talk about. I don't wanna. I'm not hating on Ait bin Haddou, but I believe Ait bin Haddou is getting a little bit more credit than it really deserves. There's so many other places and sites that are just as popular and just as good, and sometimes even better when we talk about, especially in terms of history. Especially what now it's completely gone. We did a podcast there. We did some drone video pictures, and so we probably have the last drone videos of the Casbah. It's very
It's good.
dear
Yeah.
place to me because it's in my neck of the woods.
Hmm.
And also there's Tawrir Qsba. So these are the places, they have so much more to offer, but I feel like because of what the media presents or what people see and what's popular, they just, oh, I want to see it bin Haddou, but they're not aware of all these other beautiful beautiful places that they can see. They're just as beautiful as the Eid bin Haddou, even better. So
Sure.
that's what I wanted to see, but also would like to hear what Sam has to say, um, in the same regard, Southwest and Sahara location,
Yes,
please.
yes. Well, I can say, for example, I agree with you 100%. Beside Aitin, for example, I prefer to visit Tawrir Kasbah, for example. It's more beautiful than the one of Aitin. The Skura as well. We have the Kasbah Amridil inside the oasis of the Palm Grove of Skura, and also heading south towards the Mersuga Desert. We've visit like the mausoleum of Moulay Ali Sharif. Is one of the mausoleums that you can visit in Morocco, by the way,
Hmm.
because the others, for example, in Rabat, for tourists you can't visit it, but for Moulay Ali Sharif you can visit the mausoleum. By the way, Moulay Ali Sharif is the founder of the Alawite dynasty, which is running Morocco right now. It's the grandfather of the king of Morocco. So the markets of Risani, why Risani, for example, it's the old
Uh-huh.
name. It's Sijl Massa,
Hmm.
and used to be one of the oldest places, oldest cities. I can see city in Morocco.
Hmm.
Besides, for example, we can talk about Marrakesh, we can talk about Fez, but Risani, for example, Risani used to be in the past Sijl Massa, one of the oldest cities in the southern part of Morocco. Why the markets is very interesting because used to be, for example, the meeting of the caravans coming from Sudan, from Chad, from Mali in the
Hmm.
past. They brought, for example, salt, gold, and ivory from the southern part, and they meet the other coming from the north, bringing, like, for example, what's called clothes and stuff. from the Mediterranean, and they met there in Risani, for example. And this is a beautiful gate of the entrance of the city. The markets is it's just
Yeah.
they will visit or must see. For example, when you are there in the southern part of Morocco. Also, I want to talk about air food. For example, the people are
Sure.
interested in fossils. For example, air food is a must see, and you have to stop there to visit. For example, there is many factories, for example,
Okay.
where you can find we can talk about millions of years ago
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
fossils they found in the mines of the fossils in the area.
Hmm.
Okay. I just want
These
to
are all
add
quite
some.
close together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I remember the visit when we visited the Khamiliya. Before the Khamiliya village, we stopped. It's right there in that small mountain when the French colonization. They had those mines, and even when we did
yeah,
the episode with Mahmoud, Muhammad, his
yeah,
grandfather
yes,
worked in those mines. So in those mountains, I mean, in Iraq, you pick that's a fossil. 100%.
yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
just pick it, you crack it, then you'll see a fossil. So there's abundance of fossils. And then I've seen in museums fossils, 300 million years sharks we've seen. I mean, it's just beyond incredible. And this is one of the lesser known places that they do not get enough credit. So you can see in U.S. museums, whether it's in Houston, whether it's D.C., whether it's New York, in London, in the
Hmm.
museum, you'll see fossils from Morocco, and this is the region where they come from, and it's just
Okay.
Right.
beyond incredible.
That's right.
It's
That's
it's
right.
just
Yeah,
it's amazing. So
yeah.
So again, if you're staying in Merzouga, then how far would that be from like kind of this area to drive up to Erfoud?
Yeah,
it's
from Mirzuga to Erfoud, it's 45 kilometers, less than 1 hour
Oh,
drive. Yeah, for
oh,
example,
okay.
from Mirzuga to Risani, because it's the meeting point between them. For
Hmm.
example, it's only like 25 minutes drive from Risani to Mirzuga, and
Right.
from Risani to Erfoud, it's 20 minutes drive. It's less than
Yeah.
16
yeah,
kilometers. Yes.
Okay. Now, I bet a lot of
Also,
people
what I
just kind
want,
of drive through on their way and they don't stop,
yeah,
right? So
they don't.
it's
the
Yes,
just
they
roads
don't.
are
non-stop.
good. The
Yeah,
road is good
Yeah.
nowadays. In the
yeah.
past, it was an off-road, but now it's asphalt road, so
Okay.
it's good. Yeah.
And by
Good.
the way, some of the oldest dinosaurs in the world were found in Morocco. The oldest skull was found in Morocco a few years ago. So,
In this
when we
area?
talk about
Yes.
not in the,
Yes.
not
Erfurt.
yeah. So when we talk about history, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of layers
Mm.
of history. So there's different regions, in the outskirts of Agadir, Tafra, Terdant. There's so many archaeological sites that are just as incredible.
Hmm.
So in Morocco, when it comes to hidden gems, they're everywhere. You'll pass by
Mm,
them,
yeah.
you don't see them. And again, this is for the people that travel to Morocco on their own. You will have a lot of fun, but you will miss 95% of the real Morocco for real. It's still going to be a
Hmm.
lot of fun to you.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of, hiring somebody. This is what we do. This is who we are. We do this 24/7
Yep.
for years and years and years. You'll get to experience Morocco like you have never seen before.
Mm.
You will live with memories that will last you a lifetime. I mean, even us, we travel. Sam is in Morocco right now, and he's been everywhere. But every time we go somewhere, there's always something new. There's always something to discover. We
Hmm.
do, for example, we do 5 fast tours, and all those 5 fast tours will be different. We discover something new with each experience, with each local
Yes.
guide.
Sure.
The last one, before the pandemic, we did one. Then after the pandemic, we did one, and the information changes. The information is different from local guide to local guide. Some they pay attention to details and they have a lot more information. Some they just, they're just commercial. They have a script. They tell you what the script is and move on. So I want to give some props to Malahfid. He did an amazing job when we did fast, and we were super lucky
Yes.
when we had Ali in Rabat. And Rabat, and by the way, Rabat is one of the tough cities when it comes to local guides. We have struggled with local guides in Rabat, and Sam knows this.
Yes.
But I'm
Yes.
talking
That's
about
right.
it because it's in some areas when we find somebody, it's a treasure to us, and it's a treasure
Yeah. A
to
great
our
guide
guests.
makes all the difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And when we talk about Khalil, Khalil is
Casablanca.
he's
Wow.
in he stands in his own. There's no competition.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, when we did Casablanca, the tour was extensive. It was just beyond incredible. And then, the local guys, that's what really make the tour and or break the tour. And then we had some that, you know, with the little knowledge that I know and I have, I still know more than they do. And it's like, I'm not sure why you're a local guide. So it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just funny. So there's so
Mm.
much stuff to see in Morocco, and so
Yep.
before this live, we talked about so many hidden gems in the Southwest, and that's something we're gonna talk about probably on its own episode, or maybe
Yeah,
do an
I'm looking
episode
forward to
about
that.
it because it's
Hmm.
going to be a lot of fun, and there's so many places to see. I swear to you, you will not recognize those. You think those places are somewhere else besides
Hmm.
Morocco, but it is Morocco. Morocco is very diverse, from the north to the south to the east. It's just beyond incredible. Tangier
Hmm.
is different than Dakhla. Suera is different than Agadir. Taghazout, Mirlift. It's just so many beautiful,
Very
beautiful places.
diverse.
And again, a lot of
Yeah.
people they say, well, Morocco, we don't go to Morocco to see beaches. Well, you should, because there's so many and they're so
Yeah, you're
different
missing
and
Yes,
out.
so
yes.
incredible, so
Especially, yeah,
amazing.
Surfing,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Surfing, you
We
have
have like,
Sawara,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You have
Sawira
Dakhla, which it
Taghazout,
is
also Dakhla,
Taghazout.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they have international competition when it comes to surfing. A lot of people don't know. Then we talk
Yes.
about hidden places, Hoceima, Saidia,
Yeah,
Martil.
yeah.
So it's just beyond amazing. So
Mm.
yeah, so much stuff to talk about when it comes to Morocco. And we're very fortunate. We covered in Morocco, and we're talking about Morocco
Yeah.
because
We have a
we never
podcast.
get to. Yes, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, that's
thank
right.
you.
Yeah, because when most people they say, okay, I want to visit Fes, I want to visit Casablanca, I want to visit Merzouga, I want to visit, but there is still places that you should visit in
Hmm.
Morocco. When you come to Morocco, for example, you can't stay, for example, for 1 week in Marrakech or 2 weeks in Fes, for example. What are you going to do for 2 weeks in Fes? Yeah, there is many places. For example, when you drive from Agadir to Tafraud, then from Tafraud, for example, to Tata, then from Tata to Fumsgit, then from Fumsgit, for example, to Chicago. It's those places are hidden to the tourists. They
Yes,
don't know about
yes.
it.
Mm.
Yes, and also I wanna mention when the time comes for us to do those episodes. There's so many flights that have been added this year, starting with Ryanair. Ryanair, even for the people that are traveling by themselves, this is good information for you, and you don't use a tour operator or travel agent. Instead of taking a train, for example, from Marrakesh to Fes or Marrakesh to Tangier, now you can do Ryanair. It costs you like less
Right.
than $50, versus the fare that will cost you a lot more than when you go by train, and also you save a lot of time. So this is going to be fares from Fes to Marrakesh, with Al Arabiya, which is part of LARAM, Royal Air Maroc, which is the local
Hmm.
Mm,
airline. The local airline is a little bit pricey, but you have options. Now Ryanair is one of the main players. And also between Fes and Marrakesh, there's, Ouarzazate is going to be added as well. Then you have Dakhla, Dakhla is a hub. When we talk about tourism and we talk about Southwest area, we're talking about a decade from today. That's what everybody will be traveling. So
Hmm.
that's what everybody's going to
yes,
be.
yes.
That's going to be the new destinations. That's going to be the new experiences. But we're telling you because it's still in the infantry stage right now. But those are the trends that we see, because behind the scene, what a lot of people don't see in the West, there are billions and billions of dollars that are being invested in that region.
Yeah,
And Morocco is just scratching the surface of what tourism is. If you think this is what you see in Morocco, this is the tip of the iceberg. So now we're talking about the southwest being open. Then you have the southeast. Then instead of spending a week in Morocco or 10 days, it's still not going to be enough for you. So now you have
Hmm.
a lot more options to choose from. And then when we talk about the hidden places, that's even, you have even more options that you're not even aware of.
Hmm.
So and those are the places that you want to go, because I mean, I'm not talking down to any other places of popular destinations. Fes is amazing, Marrakesh is amazing, but also you need to look, okay, what do I need to do, where do I need to go, to have that authentic, true authentic experience that nobody else does.
Yeah.
Southwest is the new destination, is the new
yes.
Okay.
Morocco when it comes to tourism. So we will create some itineraries at some point, and share them, and I know People are afraid of what they don't know. So, but we know
Hmm.
these things. I mean, like some mentioned Tata. If we do this by a car, it's a long, long drive. But with the flights being available, the tour can be combined with an airline ticket. You know, you
Right.
can leave from Marrakesh, you
Yeah.
can meet in Dakhla, you can do some surfing, you can do so much stuff, and then you can do it's half. You can drive and you can fly as well. So to save time and also to have a better experience. So
Yeah, the infrastructure makes all the difference for sure.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to those episodes. Yeah, to explore some more new parts of the country. This is fun. I feel
absolutely,
like I've just been on this hour-long tour of Morocco, but seeing
and
some different sites, right? It's nice to fill in the
yes,
map there a bit.
and also I'm very fortunate that I have an amazing family. And last time, one of my cousins, this is what he does. Uh, he's a biker, and he has his groups. They go everywhere globally, and he's the one in charge of coordinating the locations. So we know the
Okay.
routes that needs to be taken, and the stops, and between gas station and gas station, you have to be very careful.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you need to fill up.
Yeah.
So it's just it's when it comes to organizing, you really really have to do your homework. So we have the network already set up. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of the West or the tourists catching up really, because
Sure.
those destinations are really 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 popular in amongst the locals. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And also for me, I'm so lucky that I drive almost the whole Morocco.
yeah,
From Tangier to the last point of Morocco, from that's the borders with Mauritania.
Mm.
So
yeah,
I drive the harm. Yeah. So it's amazing. So we are here to design some
Yep.
unique and exceptional experiences and exceptional tours and trips in Morocco, which is not available with the on the other like companies or the other, for example, tour
yes,
operators.
Yep.
yeah,
Because we as locals, we are natives and we know what
yes,
we are doing.
yeah,
Yep. That's
absolutely.
what you guys are good at.
Yeah, thank
Cool.
you.
All right. Well, maybe we'll leave it at that. I'll Yeah, that was fun. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.